framework for the future.
Fred Thomas.
Question number 3, please, Mr. Speaker.
Secretary of State.
The government's consultation on children's use of social media and how we actually build a great life online for our young people will include the option of banning social media for under 16s. We'll also look at other measures, such as raising the digital age of consent, breaks to stop excessive use or doom scrolling overnight, curfews, enforcement of existing age verification laws. I think there's more to be done there, and addressing concerns about the use of VPNs. I've also said I'll take further action on AA chatbots when that's necessary. There are strong and differing views about this issue, which is why we believe a swift consultation rooted in the evidence is the right and responsible way forward.
Fred Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Every day that children are exposed to harmful and addictive content is another day of preventable harm. Yesterday, the Spanish PM, Pedro Sanchez, announced that Spain will ban social media for under 16s, pledging to protect children there from the digital Wild West. Expectations are that their government in Spain will begin passing that legislation next week. Meanwhile, we know about France, we know about Australia. There's accelerating momentum from our allies to move quickly and decisively on this. Can the Secretary of State confirm, as was indicated by a government minister in the other place a couple of weeks ago, that the government are taking steps so that a ban could be introduced here at pace through secondary legislation, subject to the results of the consultation?
I'm not one for hanging about. I want to act swiftly, and we'll do whatever is possible on the basis of the consultation and the decisions we take to act as swiftly as possible.
Liz Jarvis.
Mr. Speaker, I recently met with a head teacher in my constituency who told me the issue of social media use during school hours has reached the stage where some schools are weighing up budgeting investment in schemes to reduce phone distraction against investing into additional teaching staff. Her school is trialling the use of a new app that minimises distractions by controlling access to non-essential apps during the school day. Other schools have a system of secure phone locking bags, but these are expensive. So before the results of her department's consultation is published, can I ask the Minister what interim measures she is considering to help schools manage pupils' access to social media on mobile phones?
Well, my honourable friend, the Education Secretary, has made clear, with new guidance and a requirement on Ofsted to inspect, that phones should not be being used in schools. That is the action we are taking because we think that is the right way forward. It's what teachers want. I know some schools have found it difficult handling these issues with young people and parents, but the position of this government that we should not have phones being used in schools is absolutely crystal clear.
Question number 4, Mr. Speaker.
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm answering today on behalf of my friend, the Right Honourable Minister for Digital Government, who is away on other duties. As of September 2025, over 1.3 million premises in rural and hard-to-reach communities across the UK have already been upgraded to gigabit-capable broadband through government-funded programmes. Over 1 million premises are included within the £2.4 billion worth of signed Project Gigabit contracts. This includes a £175 million contract with Openreach to deliver gigabit-capable broadband across Scotland, including approximately 8,300 premises in my honourable friend's constituency.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The figures are impressive, but 10% of constituents in the Western Isles can't get more than 10 megabits a second. And while I welcome Project Gigabit, the islanders tell me that the areas first being considered for connection already have good fibre connection. They're getting a fibre upgrade, while people perhaps just a few hundred yards off the main fibre cable running this length of the island are left hanging on a copper line. I want to ask the Minister to press Openreach to make sure that they make these hard-to-reach connections and don't just rely on easy connections and big figures to convince ministers they're doing the job.
Well, my honourable friend is absolutely right to press this issue. Project Gigabit delivers gigabit-capable broadband to parts of the UK that are unlikely to be reached by the commercial market alone. But as Project Gigabit extends its coverage, it will increasingly also cover properties that already have super-fast availability. For premises that are located in very hard-to-reach areas, we're continuing to explore how government can further enable alternatives to fibre connections, for instance through satellites and fixed wireless access. And I would urge my honourable friend to remind his constituents that through the Broadband Universal Service obligation, consumers always have a right to a decent broadband connection of at least 10 megabits per second of download speed.
Upper Blundred.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The new Project Gigabit contract for Cheshire, expected to be in place by the spring, will only cover around a third of the premises in Chester South and Eddisbury that currently lack adequate broadband. I've raised this issue repeatedly, but still without a clear answer. So can the Minister now set out what specific plans exist for the remaining 10,000 homes and businesses, mostly in rural areas, that are not included in this new contract, and when those premises can realistically expect to be connected?
Well, as I said to my honourable friend, we are looking at the moment about how to further enable alternatives to fibre access, for instance through satellites and things like fixed wireless access. I'm sure my friend, the Minister, would be happy to meet with the member to discuss the specific issues in her constituency, as he would with my honourable friend, the member on my side.
Jess Brown-Fuller.
Question number 5, Mr. Speaker.
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With your permission, I should like to answer questions 5, 6 and 12 together. Mr. Speaker, with groundbreaking steps in the Online Safety Act, we are protecting children from illegal and harmful content online. This Secretary of State's first step was to make sure that self-harm and suicide content were made priority offences. We have legislated to criminalise the depiction of strangulation in pornography. We have legislated to criminalise the creation of non-consensual intimate images. We have made those priority offences. We have now launched a short consultation to protect children's experiences online. Under this government, Mr. Speaker, children's well-being is put right at the heart of our decisions.
Jess Brown-Fuller.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the Minister for his answer. The Online Safety Act was intended to protect children and teenagers from harmful social media content. The Molly Rose Foundation study found before the Online Safety Act was implemented that over a third of 13 to 17-year-olds were seeing harmful content online, including self-harm, depression or eating or disorder content. Young people in my constituency are telling me that they are still seeing this content. So will the Minister commit to publishing a report examining whether the Online Safety Act is meeting its stated aim of keeping children safe online while we wait for the government's response to their own consultation?
Minister.
Well, can I thank the honourable member for bringing a really important point. I've engaged very deeply and frequently with the Molly Rose Foundation on this and wider concerns. We continue to make sure that the monitoring and evaluation of the Online Safety Act's implementation is in progress. I'm engaging regularly on it. I'd be happy to continue the conversation.
Catherine Atkinson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've heard from many parents in Derby who want to know that when their children go online, they're properly protected, not left exposed to harmful content or addictive design features. But I've also spoken to many young people who are also concerned about what they face online. So can the Minister set out how, in addition to listening to the voices of children and organisations representing children and bereaved families, which is vital, we put children and young people at the heart of this national conversation and ensure that their voices are heard too?
Absolutely right. Well, can I firstly pay tribute to my honourable friend for the depth and breadth of her advocacy for the people of Derby in particular. Mr. Speaker, I can confirm that I'd be delighted to make sure that we continue the conversation with young people. I was at a school last week, I'm going to be at a school this week, and I commit to the House with the Secretary of State that we will continue to put young people at the heart of all our decisions.
Andy Mills.
Mr. Speaker, I've been contacted by over 400 of my constituents who are calling for greater regulation of social media and young people's use of it. There is disagreement there about whether this should be a full or a partial ban and exactly which age this should be introduced. Regardless of where the government's consultation leads, there will be a cliff edge and young people will at some point start to engage with the digital world. So with that in mind, I'd like to ask what engagement the Department are having with the Department for Education's curriculum review to give young people the skills, information, support they need to identify online harms and online misinformation.
Well, our honourable friend is absolutely right, Mr. Speaker. Regulation is one part of it, but at the heart of it, media literacy education is the fundamental thing that we're focused on as well. We're engaging very closely with the Department for Education on a media literacy aspect of the national curriculum to make sure that our young people are able to spot misinformation, disinformation, and be prepared to make the most of online experiences.
Mr. Speaker, further to the question put to the Secretary of State earlier by the Chairman of the Select Committee, my teenage informant tells me that if you ask it the right question, most US-based search engines will tell you how to access the dark web. That is clearly undesirable. What are we doing to stop it?
Well, I thank the honourable member for that point. We are looking very closely, of course. Already under the Online Safety Act, platforms have the responsibility to make sure young people are not able to access harmful content, and in particular in relation to wider access methods, whether that be VPNs or beyond. We're looking very closely at the patterns of behaviour. We have been so far pretty successful. After an initial spike in the use of some of those platforms, we've seen a levelling off. I hope very much that continues. We will continue to monitor it.
That's in topicals.
Topical number 1, please, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, we are in a race for the future, and this government is determined to seize the opportunities of AI to win for Britain and the British people. Last week, I announced our Lanarkshire AI growth zone, creating 3,400 jobs. On Monday, I announced Barnsley will be the UK's first tech town. And we've announced free AI skills for all, because if we want AI to work for Britain, we need Britons who can work with AI.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank my right honourable friend for her response. This Labour government is making great strides at deploying digital technologies to provide access to public services and bring them bang up to date. Will my right honourable friend please outline how this will benefit the residents in my constituency of Watford, while also offering some reassurance to those non-digital natives that they will still be able to access the public services they need?
My honourable friend has always been a powerful champion for the good people of Watford. This government is determined to make sure national and local public services are more easily accessible online through things like the NHS app, getting your driving licence online, and information about your benefits. But we are really concerned about those without digital skills. That's why we launched the first digital inclusion plan in a decade, including free digital skills training, which the honourable members' constituents can take advantage of.
Julie Lopez, Shadow Secretary of State.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Amid the utter muckstorm of this week, it's World Cancer Day, when we should be thanking our incredible scientists whose breakthroughs give hope to patients at their lowest ebb. Does the Secretary of State think that her government should charge VAT on medicines being supplied to those patients for free?
I am very proud that this government has today announced its proposals to improve cancer care for people right across the country. It is absolutely essential that we get more people access to faster, better services. And I have always believed that we need to do that in the way that is fairest possible for people, and to back our great scientists to make even more improvements in future, which is why I'm so proud of our life sciences sector plan alongside the 10-year NHS plan.
Julie Lopez.
Mr. Speaker, I didn't uncover any answer there. Charities and life sciences firms are telling me that this government has begun issuing tax bills on free drugs, such that one company is stopping a compassionate access scheme and withdrawing 2 critical cancer drugs, and more could follow suit. That is a disaster for patients, a disaster for securing clinical trials, and a disaster for this government's cancer strategy. Will she commit, with the Chancellor, to stopping these bills as a matter of urgency for the sake of patients and for the sake of our vital life sciences industry?
I would say to the honourable lady, thanks very much for that, Chair. I would say to the honourable lady, this government is transforming life sciences in this country with the biggest investment ever into research and development, a 10-year NHS plan that will radically reduce the time for drugs getting to clinical trials, and ensuring that our pharmaceutical sector has a proper deal, including with the NHS. That's how we get better services to patients, and I'm proud of this government's record.
James Assar.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The London Design and Engineering UTC in the Royal Docks has just received an outstanding Ofsted, including commendation for the way they prepare students for the next stage of employment. Does the Secretary of State agree with me that this offer of industry-level offer of resources and training at this stage in education is vital if we're to have thriving STEM sectors?
Why by this government is expanding high-quality apprenticeships and technical pathways like the ones on offer in the honourable member's constituency. We're investing £725 million to deliver more apprenticeships for young people, rolling out new apprenticeship units in priority areas like engineering, alongside £150 million partnership with mayors to connect young people to local opportunities, giving young people the skills, hope and opportunities they need to build a better life. That's what this Labour government is all about.
John Murray.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Despite all that President Trump is doing to wreck global stability, our government still spends billions a year on digital technology contracts, including with US tech giants. Will the Secretary of State immediately put together a UK digital sovereignty strategy to build our resilience and security as France and Germany are doing?
Well, we are already investing £500 million in our sovereign AI unit to back our brilliant AI entrepreneurs and start-ups, because we believe more competition in this area is good for Britain and good for the world.
We now come to Prime Minister's questions. Joanna Baxter.
Question number 1, please, Mr. Speaker.
Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On World Cancer Day, we're publishing our National Cancer Plan to transform care for patients. It means investment in cutting-edge technology so our exceptional frontline staff can give world-class care. It funds more tests and scans, meaning faster diagnosis and treatment, and tailored treatment in specialist centres. And, Mr. Speaker, will cover the cost of every family whose child needs travel for cancer care, because the focus should only be on recovery, not worrying about money. This morning I had meetings with ministerial colleagues and others. In addition to my duties in this House, I shall have further such meetings later today.
Baxter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Up and down the country, this government is restoring pride in place by investing in our high streets, the beating heart of our communities. Yet, in Paisley and Renfrewshire South, the SNP-led Renfrewshire Council has done the opposite, sitting on their hands whilst the owners of the Paisley Centre, who received planning permission to develop the centre some years ago, have sought support to transform our town centre. Does the Prime Minister agree with me that it is only the SNP's lack of ambition and failure of leadership that is letting Paisley down, and will he work with me to restore pride in Paisley's town centre?
She's a superb champion for Paisley. Her constituents deserve a Scottish Government that matches her dedication. Mr. Speaker, for our part, we've delivered record funding settlement. We're investing £280 million in Pride in Place across 14 Scottish communities. We've secured shipbuilding on the Clyde for over a decade and just announced an AI growth zone in Lanarkshire. The choice, Mr. Speaker, is clear. A third decade of failure under the SNP or real change for Scotland under Anna Sarwar.
Leader of the Opposition, Kemi Bainbridge.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The whole House will be disgusted by the latest revelations about Jeffrey Epstein. All of us want to see his victims get justice. But the political decision to appoint Epstein's close associate, Peter Mandelson, as Britain's ambassador to Washington goes to the very heart of this Prime Minister's judgment. When he made that appointment, was he aware that Mandelson had continued his friendship even after Epstein's conviction for child prostitution?
Simple question. Mr. Speaker, let me start where I must, with the victims of Epstein, and all of our thoughts are with them. Can I also say our thoughts are with all those who lost jobs, savings and livelihoods in the aftermath of the 2008 financial crash. To learn that there was a cabinet minister leaking sensitive information at the height of the response to the 2008 crash is beyond infuriating. And I am as angry as the public and any member of this House. Mandelson betrayed our country, our Parliament and my party. Mr. Speaker, he lied repeatedly to my team when asked about his relationship with Epstein.